So thank you so much for having me here. It's such a wealth of information. I've been taking so many notes and just trying to connect with everyone. It's like a smorgasbord of success going on here. So I'm trying to eat everything. So let me just hop into it. My presentation is on creating a we nation, creating a we nation. And this is part of a talk that I'd given when I was doing a TEDx talk in Sing Sing prison. And what was so dynamic about it was not only was the inmates able to hear the message and the story, but also the administrators and those, a lot of the politicians. So it was a packed house, and I really wanted everyone to kind of hear what a we nation was about. And so from that talk, it ventured into an event. It ventured into me creating a nonprofit, which also ventured me into creating just some support for women who are coming home and re-entering into society. But what creating a we nation is about, shout out to just this Her Summit and us just really taking over. And I love all the information, all the leaders of these women that have graced the stage, plus the bars that we just received. I mean, he dropped some major bars. I forgot his name, but I definitely need him on my stage one day. But with We Nation, before I get into it, let me just tell you about me. I'm a mother of 2 college boys. I have a teenage daughter who's in boarding school, but everybody's home now. I don't know if I should be smiling about that. And I have a 9-year-old son. I call him Old Man Jenkins. He thinks he runs the house, so he probably does. So I'm the oldest of 4, the only girl. So that means that I am still a little bit bossy, right? And I think I run the show all the time. So I think that's where my kids get it. Just to give you a little background around what makes us these lead hers that we are and why We Nation is important. I have over 12 years of experience. I left corporate America in 2006. I had 2 small children at the time. I cannot lie. I didn't leave my corporate job to start spending more time with my children. I left so that I can make some more money, so that I can get them into things so that they can experience a life that I didn't have. I'm a marketing and small business consultant. I'm known as the activator. Some call me as the brand pusher. You give me what you have, let's explode it. I like to shine the light on the best kept secrets. I call them the Dalmatians. We have a few spots. We've been through some things, but we just need that push and someone to believe in us to give us resources and access. I have built my first 7-figure business. Check this, round of applause. Off of glitter and glue and scissors and poster boards. Yes, I was a part of this show called Queen Boss. And it's important, I believe, for us to take our small ideas and think about how we can expand them. Sometimes as entrepreneurs and creatives, we get caught up into the grand idea when really that grand idea comes from the smallest thing that we need to do, which really services a lot of people. And so starting out with vision boards and creating a creative visualization. My mother, God rest her soul, she had me doing creative visualization boards since I was 8 years old. And she wanted us to look beyond our circumstances. I was brought up in a low income area in the Bronx, New York, and it was just tough for us at that time. I really didn't know that we were in poverty because everybody around us was in poverty. So we just all thought it was normal. But when I got into college, I realized that there was a world beyond where I was living. And so that creative visualization and that double psychology major that my mother was really helped me tap into and hone into believing in the things that I don't see and how to make things great out of a bad situation. Yes, amen. All right. And so what happened is I was able, long story short, able to be a part of this show called Queen Boss as a business coach at the time, a life coach at the time, and look at how I can create a product that I could present to the world for other people to use. Some people are not able to leave. There's people who are in shelters, domestic violence houses, all kind, you name it, they're in prisons and things like that. And so they're not able to create a vision board or a goal map. And so I said, if I could put everything together, incorporate my templates, incorporate my content, and a book that I had written on how to take your vision off the board and into your life, maybe this will be successful for somebody else. And it was. I was able to present it on live TV. Queen Boss was an amazing platform. I actually still have my crowns and stuff that I wore when I was on the show. But yeah, I showed up on the show with the crown on. See, we got to do the most when we want to show up and shine. And so from there, I was able to work with Walmart and get a contract with Nike, and the list goes on. But it all started with scissors, glitter and glue, and a little girl who had a dream that she can be somebody more than what she was around, right? And so I wanted to teach others to do that. And so now here I am with an amazing business. I run 2 businesses. I shared the nonprofit, but the for-profit one, which helps people with sold out events, honing in on their brand and their signature presentation and connecting with partners and sponsors. But what's important here is how I have learned to create a community, meaning that finding how can I gather those like-minded individuals, those leaders of leaders and teachers of teachers, to create something that we can pass on for others to also take the torch and keep on running, right? And so I was talking to a lot of female entrepreneurs, and a lot of times they was creating a business with their name in lights. And I said, well, what if we created a business that allowed you to put other people's names in lights? How awesome would that be? And so that's where the unity came in. And so it's a responsibility as an entrepreneur and female entrepreneurs who are watching and listening for us to create something that is beyond our name, meaning there's books that we need to write. Take this time now, no excuse to write that book. You don't have to be an English major to write it. I wasn't an English major, and I have 5 best-selling books under my belt. That's not to brag. That's just to say, listen, here's a girl from the projects from the Bronx with, who didn't have the top-notch education, but still was able to make something out of nothing because I looked beyond my name being in lights. And so when we look at the community, what is it that you need to create now that will expand not only your brand, your message, but will leave a mark for other people to step in so that they can leave a mark, so that people can step in and then someone else leaves a mark, right? And so we have to get out of the me business and get into the we nation business. So if I write this book, it'll show someone how to. If I tell my story, it will show someone how to. If I start this business, it will show someone how to. So creating like this how-to community to open up doors. The other thing, the harvest, the seeds, the network, and the mentors. If you see here, there's an event that I host every year for my nonprofit. It's free for women who are re-entry, disadvantaged, just down and out at the times. And being able to partner with an organization such as Delta to see that there is some value and a return on investment in connecting with this community meant everything to me and the network. And so what can you create? What product can you create? What program can you create? What event virtual that you can create? What do you need to grow in order to increase your impact? Who do you need to contact? What do you need to put together? And so I have this thing, my last book, which was called The Big Ask. And it talks about having that big ask. What is your big ask? Yes, I'm not cursing, the big ask. And so it's a small book, but it's powerful packed. And so the big ask brings this all in. The harvest, the seeds, which is your network, your team, and your mentors. And so what is your big ask? If you don't leave with anything else from me today, Lucinda wants you to get your what? Ask together, ASK. I want you to get your ask together because it's connected to a community. It's connected to building a business. It's connected to you writing your next book. It's connected to that next product, program, partnership, collaboration that needs to happen. So when you are clear on what your ask is, based on that bigger, not just my name in lights, but I need to put everybody else's name in lights, we all win. The next slide, and I know I'm flying through, this is you, you're a seed. When we begin to plant ourselves, we're planting our story, we're planting our fears, we're planting our doubts, our anxieties, even some of the things that we are successful at. Who would have thought that out of all of, I went to college for marketing, out of all of the schooling that I had went through, all of the education, all of the partnerships, all of the collaborations, that the one thing, the simple thing, the things of God are simple, we complicate them. The one thing, me planting a seed of vision, would explode to the point where it would increase my finances in a way never before and make me a believer of my own thing. Put me in the light and have me sitting on the couch with Dr. Oz, where it looks like I'm interviewing him, but it's about my story. Having me written up in Essence magazine, but it's about the vision. You see what I'm saying? So as when we look at us as a seed, It is our responsibility to pay attention to out of that seed that we're planting ourselves, what kind of fruit do we want to see grow? I want authors to birth out of this, out of my pain and my agony and my doubt and my frustration and me starting up as an entrepreneur and almost going bankrupt and having my car towed and taking my kids out of private school and sometimes not having lights on and literally using candles, dropping my kids off at my mom because I had a dream. Yes, but I was the seed. So it is our responsibility to not give up, but it's also our responsibility to know that we need to be planted to grow. So what is your foundation on? The next thing, your story, building business models that are scalable, that's getting out of the me phase and into the we phase. How can this scale? How can I leverage this? Training models that offer leverage. Every one of us can teach and train and show someone how to do something. Collaborations that are marketable, not just collaborations that feel good, not just trying to tap into the hottest celebrity, but literally making collaborations that are impacting change. Sponsorships and investments in underserved markets. Where is the underserved market that we can support? People love to connect with givers. People love to connect with doers. And so a lot of times, you know, I'll get people who say, you know what, are you interested in sponsoring? Are you interested in collaborating? But my question is, what have you done lately? Not only just for yourself, but how have you supported the underserved communities? How have you written a book or supported the young girls who don't have access to books and don't have access to uniforms and don't have access to, you know, so it's out of every book that you sell, is some of that money going towards shoes for underserved market? Out of every, you know, t-shirt that you sell or every presentation, is a portion of that going to a greater cause? So think about a cause for celebration that you can tie into your brand. Your story is the action work. And when you tie that story into a cause for celebration, yes, a cause for celebration, people will dive in and say, how can I support? Let me write you a check, right? Because now you're tapping into meaning, you're tapping into purpose, and you're tapping into impact. And here it is, creating a healthy community starts today, right now. It starts with you being the one. Yes. You know, I remember when I started out as a public speaker, I was like, oh, I want to speak to millions. I have to be on the stage, on everybody's stage. Oprah needs to hear me. But the real deal is you reach no one when you go after millions. And just going after one, you reach millions by tapping into one. And you don't reach no one by tapping into millions. And that has been my motto. If I can impact one person at a time, that one person is connected to 10 other people. Those 10 other people are connected to 10 other people. And that's where my support has come from. And this is what I live by, and I want you to live by this as well as I come to a close for your creative visualization. As you sit and have the time to restore, think of this COVID time as restoration. Think of this time as regrouping. Think of this time as reinventing. And so focus on the Fab Five: faith, family, friends, finance, and fitness. And number 6 is going to come. A little fun. That's a bonus. So faith, family, friends, finance, and fitness. And a little bit of fun. Number 6 is your bonus. That's the best way that you can not only create a We Nation, but also impact change and show up as your best self, whatever that means. And please, if anything, get your ass together. What? Let me hear you say it. 1, 2, 3. Get your ass together. Last time, on the count of 3. 1, I don't see your mouths moving. I'm watching the video. I see you, Mark. 1, 2, 3. Get your ass together. Thank you so much. I'm Lucinda Cross.